Hey everybody, welcome back to the Mastering Menopause podcast. So I just got back from the gym, still in my gym clothes, but I knew I had to get this episode done and really excited to share this information with you. So we are going to be diving into one of the most crucial but often overlooked aspects when it comes to fat loss, and that is maintenance. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the two types of maintenance that we use when we use the 90-day Mastering Menopause Method. Now, I know when most people think about fat loss, they immediately jump to cutting calories and dieting, but here's the thing, that's not where to start. In fact, the key to long-term fat loss success is mastering maintenance first, both before and then after you reach your goal. So today I'm going to break down the initial maintenance phase and then goal weight maintenance phase. And those two are very different. And this is what we use for our clients at Catalyst Fitness. So these phases are what is going to set you up for an effective fat loss journey and ensure that you keep that weight off for good so that you don't have to keep doing this over and over. So first off, let's start with the initial maintenance phase where we're setting yourself up for success. This is the foundation of everything that we do at Catalyst. And here's the deal. Like I said, most women jump right into dieting when they want to lose weight. So they start cutting calories without ever figuring out what their body actually needs, never even considering maintenance, which I know I definitely did not. And that's a mistake. So what we do is we're going to start off everybody in maintenance, and this is really just a primer phase. We will figure out how many calories you should be eating to maintain your current weight. And I know you don't want to maintain your current weight. We use this phase to help you build consistent habits around tracking your intake and hitting your protein goals. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Why would I want to eat at maintenance if I am trying to lose fat? And the answer is simple. During this initial phase, you can lose fat and build muscle at the same time without going into a caloric deficit. So this is especially true if you've never focused on tracking accurately or hitting your protein consistently before. Your body can absolutely make major changes in this phase. We are going to focus heavily on consistency. We teach you how to track accurately and make sure you're hitting the right amount of protein and calories for your body. This sets you up for long-term success before we're going to move into a fat loss phase. So this typically can be anywhere. It could be as quick as 2 weeks. Typically, we're going to see around 4 weeks, 6 weeks. So the goal is to build up that consistently and hit the caloric and the protein goals regularly. But for those of you that have been tracking regularly, then you can get through this phase pretty quickly. Unfortunately, most women make the critical mistake of skipping this phase. They just rush right into dieting, cutting their calories without actually understanding their maintenance needs. And then they wonder why they hit plateaus or regain the weight after. And that's because they've never set themselves up for an effective fat loss phase. Even after they lose the weight, many women don't understand what maintenance is, so they never learn how to maintain their results, and they just go back to old habits, or they think they need to keep dieting forever, which is going to lead to burnout and eventually regaining the weight. This is why we're so focused on building habits and consistency. You're going to be much more successful when it's time to enter a calorie deficit for fat loss. And even more important, you're going to be able to maintain those results after you've reached your goal. So once you've nailed the initial maintenance phase, meaning you're tracking accurately, you're hitting your protein goals, you're building those consistent habits, that's when we can transition into that fat loss phase. The beauty of starting in a maintenance phase is that now your body is primed for fat loss. We've got a little bit of muscle built up, which helps you burn more calories, and you've developed the habits needed to be consistent in a deficit. And this is going to make the fat loss process so much easier and much more effective. How do we maintain your results after you've hit your goal? That's the second type of maintenance that we use here. So this is the one that happens after you reach your goal weight. And this is where a lot of women just skip over this as well. They struggle because they don't know what to do once the diet is over. They just go back to their old habits. And so at Catalyst Fitness, this is where our clients truly thrive. Once you've hit your goal weight, we need to find out what your new maintenance calories are. And a lot of times, as we bring up calories, clients will continue to lose weight. So it's really just a matter of finding your true maintenance calories. And then once we do find that number, We're going to move away from tracking everything. You've built the habits, so now we're going to start to focus on intuitive eating and total food freedom. This particular maintenance phase is much more forgiving than the initial one because you're no longer meticulously tracking. You've learned how to eat mindfully, how to manage portions. You have your go-to meals. You don't have to log every meal because you've built the habits and the lifestyle that's going to allow you to maintain your weight without thinking about it constantly. And this is where you achieve true food freedom. You're going to be able to enjoy the foods that you love without guilt, and you have the flexibility to live your life while maintaining your results. This is what the 2.0 version of you does automatically without having to stress about every bite that you take. This is why our clients don't gain 10 pounds over the holidays or after they went on a cruise, because maintenance, again, is much more forgiving. We don't have to track. You have a pretty wide threshold of calories. Typically, I would say right around 2,000. This is just a kind of across the board, but if you're taller, you're going to get more calories than that. If you are shorter, then you're going to have less calories. But imagine maintaining your weight on at least 2,000 calories. That is plenty of calories that allows for food freedom and for the foods that you love. So mastering these two types of maintenance is the key to long-term fat loss success. It's not just about losing the weight, it's about keeping it off. When you learn how to track accurately, hitting your protein and calorie goals, and you build those habits that stick, then you're going to set yourself up for those lasting results. And so many women fall into the trap of yo-yo dieting because they never take the time to do these maintenance phases on either side. But when you master both the initial and the goal weight maintenance phases, you build that sustainable lifestyle. And this is what allows you to avoid that yo-yo effect, stop dieting, and live in a place of food freedom and confidence. So to recap, the two types of maintenance that we focus on in the 90-day Mastering Menopause Method is this initial maintenance phase. This is like a primer phase where you're going to find your true maintenance calories. We're going to build some consistency with tracking. This is where you will lose fat and build muscle without going into a deficit. This is where we see a big change in body composition. We see inches coming off, even though scale weight typically just stays the same. And then goal weight, let me say this again. Maintenance phase once you've hit your goal weight. So this happens after you reach your goal weight. And here we're going to move away from tracking and we're going to focus on intuitive eating and food freedom. And this is fueled by the habits and the lifestyle changes that you've built. So these two phases are what set our clients up for long-term success. You not only lose weight, you keep it off, and you can live confidently enjoying the foods that you love without guilt and without gaining the weight back. So if you are ready to start to set yourself up for fat loss success, I'd love to help you. Just book a call with me to see how we can implement these strategies in your own journey using the 90-day Mastering Menopause Method. Now, I will say at the time of this recording that we could very conceivably lose 10 to 15 pounds by Thanksgiving. So if you have a shorter weight loss goal, then we can definitely do that and then move you into maintenance for the holidays, which would be amazing. So you don't have to keep spinning your wheels with dieting. Let's create a sustainable plan that works for you. And I will drop a link for you to book a call. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I hope that this gave you some insight into how we approach maintenance phases and why they're so important for long-term fat loss success. If you know somebody that would benefit from this information, then please share it with them. I would absolutely appreciate that. And I will see you next week. Bye.